Lee at Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right. I've got my best mate, Kev. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining me, man. So,
first time we've done a video one, isn't it?
Exactly. Normally you're here visiting, and we get plenty of videos in, but we're going to do one. We're going to do top 10 Tremonti songs. That's cool, isn't it? So,
it is, yeah.
This was suggested to me a couple of days ago, mate. Well, a few days ago, because I contacted you. John Lowry. Let's give a shout out to him. He just said he's only asked me to do one other thing. That's Thin Lizzy, like top songs. And then he popped up again and messaged me and said, how about Tremonti? And I thought, well, that's a good idea. One, because the new album came out not so long ago. And two, because you're a massive Tremonti fan like me, aren't you? So,
yeah.
So I thought, let's get Kev involved. We'll do 10 each. So I contacted Kev and said, I left it sort of up to you how many you did. It didn't really matter because, I mean, there's 5 albums full of brilliant songs. I suppose the most difficult thing is just whittling it down. You know, that's the thing. They're pretty consistent albums. So if anyone doesn't know Mark Tremonti is, well, they should do. But obviously in England with metal fans, he's probably more well known than he actually is in America, where they come from. So of course with Creed, first of all, massive success with Creed, especially in America, obviously. But that's sort of, you know, I suppose Mark Tremonti himself wouldn't mind the money they made out of it, because they made plenty, didn't they? That was huge. But obviously in another way, it sort of tarnished him and Alter Bridge a little bit, I suppose. And maybe they're not as big as they should be. I don't know. But people have got something against Creed, haven't they? In general. Rock fans especially. So, but I mean, I weren't a massive fan of Creed. I had nothing against them, but Alter Bridge is where I started with the Mark Tremonti obsession a little bit, I suppose.
Same as me.
Yeah, and then love Alter Bridge. Me and you have seen them countless times, and we've seen Tremonti live as well together. So, and since then, since the first album, which came out in 2012, it's 5 albums, and been pretty consistent, isn't it? I mean, 5 albums in is that 9 years is quite a lot in it compared to other artists. Yeah, that's all it is. So I was just looking, actually, the first album came out just after AB3, so between AB3 and Fortress. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so about 2011, 12, something like that.
Yeah, so 2012 the album came out. Alter Bridge 3 was 2010 and Fortress 2013. So that's when he decided to start doing some solo stuff. So, yeah, I mean, straight away, we both loved what we heard, didn't we? So,
yeah,
obviously.
I really found this tough. You know, this was, it's only when you start listening, you know, to all the songs on the albums and you think,
yeah,
actually, it's like trying to pick, what is it, 60 songs, I think, over 5 albums?
Yeah.
And I thought, you got, and you've got at least probably 50 or 55 that are really, really good. So
yeah, I mean, it's funny though, because I think off of each album, I've always luckily for me, I've already added 2 or 3 tracks that I really love on each album. And I like the rest, don't get me wrong, but there's 2 or 3 that really stuck out. I've always have done. So it was quite, it weren't too bad for me. I suppose the most difficult one was the new album, because me and you have spoke about it, so we both love it. So we don't.
I could have probably had 10 songs off of that album, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a brilliant album. So, and it's a bit difficult when you're judging new songs against old ones, because they sound really fresh, don't they? And until they've settled down in your sort of catalogue of what you think of the songs. So, but it's going to be interesting. We obviously don't know each other's lists. We're going to go 10 to 1. Kev's going to go first with 10. With his number 10, and I'll let you go away, let you go, get on with it, man. What you got? Number 10.
What? I was just thinking when we did that Alter Bridge one, we did what, 15 songs?
We did, yeah.
And we had how many the same? 1 or 2?
Not many. This is interesting.
Was it?
This could be. I was thinking when I was picking my list, I was thinking, I reckon we might have a few matches here because we're quite similar in heaviness, in the heaviness sort of side of it. I think. What you know, I don't know, but I'm just guessing. But what you got there, mate? Okay. Number 10.
Okay. So my number 10 is actually Tie the Noose.
Oh,
so I'd say, not that I don't like the album, but it's probably my least favourite album out of the 5. That doesn't mean to say it's a bad album, because it's not by any means.
That's on, is it Cauterized or Dust?
Yeah.
Cauterized.
So this one, I kind of like, I love the way it just goes bang, like straight away. As soon as it starts, it's like bang, and just got quite a catchy chorus in it as well. And I don't know, I just felt like I had to find a place for this one, or for this album.
I mean, even though if you actually look up what the music is like, what is, you know, explained like on Wiki or whatever, it does say thrash mainly. And I mean, I think there is definitely elements of old school thrash, but they're metal albums as far as I'm concerned. But there's a lot of fast songs, isn't there, on a lot of these albums, really fast.
You know, and sometimes if it was another band, it could have just descended into utter chaos. Do you know what I
agree.
But
I agree.
It just doesn't, you know, it just doesn't do that with Tremonti. It doesn't take long before it's grabbed your attention, because it's kind of gone somewhere else, and you can actually understand what he's singing, which is a bonus.
And it don't matter, you're right. It don't matter how heavy it is. It's always catchy and, you know, listenable. So definitely, and it's fucking heavy as well. And
so that's my number 10, which probably caught you by surprise. Actually,
it did a little bit. Yeah. So that's cool, mate. My number 10 is the title track off the debut album, All I Was. So I mean, as sort of with most of the sort of heavier Tremonti, so this is a heavy one, but not as in fast. But the riff, like going through it from the beginning, is just amazing, and it sort of carries through the chorus. There's a lot of fast solo section in this one, so it sort of speeds up just for that bit, which is really cool. And then it goes into a lot of the second half of the solo. It sort of slows down. I don't know. I like it when Tremonti, when they do the slower sort of stuff. I think it sounds fucking heavy. Even if he does slower stuff during a fast song, he like breaks it down. It just like, you think, fuck.
Yeah. It can just kind of go from one to the other really quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely. But All I Was, the title track, mate, is my number 10.
Good pick. Right. So my number 9 is probably going to come as a bit of a surprise to you again. My number 9 is Take You With Me. I'll take you with me. Now, I remember when this song came out, and I think you said to me, I think it was you or your brother or someone said it sounds like it's out of a film or something like that, some sort of, you know, like teen film or something. But to me, I've always liked this song since the album. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I know it you could almost say it sounds a little bit commercial, if you like. If any of his stuff was going to be commercial, but I think it's a great song. I absolutely love it. So
no, it is really catchy.
To me, that had to be in there.
It is really, really catchy, and I think it was me who said something about it. It almost sounds not punky, sort of a little bit punky, sort of, but really sort of, yeah, you're right. It's upbeat. It's really catchy as fuck. I love the song, actually. I've grown to love it even more. So that's a great choice. Yeah. It's an excellent choice. Well, I'm going pretty sloppy now. So, I mean, I love it when, I mean, it's not all about the thrash on these Tremonti albums, obviously.
Absolutely not.
There's plenty of that, but there's plenty of melody as well. And I've gone for the first, the last from A Dying Machine. So really, I mean, this is probably, I mean, you just mentioned melodic, didn't you? That other song, and catchy. Yeah. I mean, this is just, I don't think anyone, or sometimes I say this about songs, I don't think anyone that came on and someone didn't know it. It doesn't matter who it was, you can't help but think, fucking hell, that's a good, excellent sounding song. Really catchy, really, if anyone is watching this and they're into their melodic songs and think Tremonti's all about real heaviness, this is proves it. It's the other way. It's a brilliant, catchy song.
Yeah, that was I had it in mind at one point. Yeah,
it's a great song. So right, okay.
Sorry, I shouldn't have given that away, should I? Sorry.
No, that's good, mate. That's good. Number 8.
Number 8. A Lot Like Sin. Absolutely love this song. It's the one I always went back to listen to on that album. It's the one that probably grabbed me the most, actually. Just love the real sort of punchy bass line in it, and the chorus again. Just I think I'm saying it's my favourite song on that album. I'm just checking I got any other songs off of that album to make myself look like a bit of an idiot. But yeah, again, that's one for me that had to be in there because it is definitely one of my favourites.
Very cool choice, man. Very cool. This one might surprise you a bit. My number 8.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the Cauterize album and Dark Trip.
Yeah.
It's just this, when I said to you, like, there's always ones that have caught me attention. This was from the beginning. I love this. I think it's weird. The Cauterize and the Dust albums were sort of together, weren't they? Because the Dust was sort of meant to be like the leftovers almost from the Cauterize album, but the Dust album was just as good as the Cauterize.
They came out quite close together, didn't they?
They did.
2 albums.
The following year, but I don't know how close in months. I don't think it was long. So, but Dark Trick off of Cauterize is, I suppose you could say it's more of a deep cut, a bit like a couple that you've already mentioned. So, as the title suggests, though, the cat obviously likes Tremonti. I mean, Dark Trip is called, and he's quite a dark, sort of brooding, sort of slow sort of song. It's so heavy, that chorus, but it's really catchy at the same time. He's the cat, though.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Dark Trip, mate, number 8.
Okay. My number 7 is Tore My Heart Out.
Yeah.
So probably you'd put this in the epic bracket, if you like.
Yeah.
Obviously,
there's a few epics.
Got quite a few of them. So yeah, obviously, great song, brilliant song. Pretty sure he played it live as well when we went to see him. I'm sure he did.
We've just got to say that it was fucking loud and fucking heavy at that gig.
Yeah, I think I developed tinnitus after that gig.
It was one of the loudest gigs I've been to. I mean, it was in quite a small place, but it was fucking loud. I mean,
very loud. Yeah,
but I mean, they were just pretty, just like the record, really. That's the only thing I would say.
Solid.
I mean, all Bridge are pretty much like that, but him especially, like his vocals and everything, is just to perfection, really.
Yeah, it's definitely 100%. Yeah,
good choice though, mate. I'm going a bit ballady again. So this is what I like about Tremonti when he slows stuff down. This is probably my favourite song when we went to see him live, actually, and when they slowed it down to do Dust. Cut through the fetters, reach the end. Only to fight. Really cool song, ballad, if you like, but it goes heavy like most of the songs do. It's probably the highlight of that gig because I always remember it. It was so fucking heavy and loud that when Dust came on, it was sort of like almost like made a sort of a nice change to the full-blown heaviness for like an hour.
Yeah, toned it down a bit.
He toned it down a little, but he's just brilliant at writing a ballad, just like, you know, they're very melancholy, and they even the Tremonti ones, and very epic. Dust is quite an epic.
So it's actually Dust, did you say? Sorry, that was your song. That was your choice. The thing I remember about that song was it was like one of them disco ball lights he had going.
Yes.
And I think sometimes when you go and see a band live or an artist or whatever, and you hear stuff live, I think sometimes it can change your perception of certain songs you might not have necessarily liked that much before. Then you see it live, and it totally. The End Is Here by Alter Bridge is a perfect example.
I agree. Yeah,
when they did that at the Albert Hall, because I wasn't a massive fan of that song, but when they played it live, it was totally different. So
totally agree there, mate. Yeah, but I agree. I remember the disco ball which lit up the whole fucking room as brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6 then, mate.
Right. Time for another surprise. I probably could have picked, like I say, almost every song off the new album, but the one I've gone for here is Would You Kill? So the thing I love about this song there's two parts. There's one right at the very beginning. It, again, like one of the previous songs, it just goes bang, like straight into it. Brilliant guitar riff at the beginning. And then it kind of goes on a different direction towards the end. And I can't explain, but it's like this weird guitar solo thing that's going on. It almost sounds like Oriental or something. Like I can't really explain it. You'll have to listen to it to see what I mean, and then you'll understand. But this is one song that I keep definitely coming back to on this album. So
there is some pretty cool. I mean, I think there's one later on that I'm going to mention, but there's some really cool guitar sort of trickery going on that new album.
Yeah,
like some weird sounds, and it makes it sound so like even heavier. Like some of the
I think there's might be a fancy bit of wah wah going on or something. I mean, I'm not a massive guitarist, but it's this like real sort of authentic sound that he's got going on this guitar, and for me, it makes the song. So
got to say, and all the album, I was listening to obviously bits of it leading up to this. It sounds massive. That album, the new one. Probably the best sounding album out of these five. Yeah, it sounds.
I think you said to me when you did your review, you said, "Oh, do you think this is better than the first album?" I don't think I answered you at that point, but I will answer you now. And it's definitely my favourite album. Yeah, without any doubt, it's my favourite album. Yeah.
It's not because it's new then.
Maybe because I've been listening to it more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think I like every single song on the album. And how often does that happen?
Not often.
With, any band, any artist.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
That's cool, mate. That's cool. Okay. For my number 6, I'm going back to Cauterize again. And the excellently titled Flying Monkeys. I mean, this riff that goes across this, and if anyone doesn't know this song, I can explain it that it's better than the song I'm going to talk about, but the speed of it and the heaviness is a bit similar, I would say, to Sad But True, that sort of slow, sort of chugging sort of song. Do you know the story about the title of the song? Do you know about that?
I don't. No.
I mean, I don't actually know what the song's about, but the title is he played that riff apparently, made that riff, and he said it sounds pretty fucking scary. It is quite a scary riff, and it's pretty fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And it reminded him, you probably won't remember this. Remember the Wizard of Oz film? The original?
Yeah, I'm not that much younger than you, Lee.
With the flying monkey bit, which creeps you out when the fucking witch sends the flying monkeys in. So he thought, like, sense. Yeah, so he thought that sounds like you can imagine them fucking monkeys flying in when that riff's playing. So that's why it's called that. Maybe it could even be the heaviest song on the list, because in a different way, because heavy ain't always fast. For me, heavy is slower. And this has got a real sort of, like I said, slow to medium pace sort of chug to it. Almost doomy, sort of Sabbathy sort of thing, but a very fucking cool song. Flying Monkeys is my number 6, with an excellent title as well, obviously.
Yeah. No, we're on to the top 5 already.
We are.
So my number 5 is Off Dust, I believe. Unable to See.
Good track.
Absolutely. Going a bit ballady now, I suppose. Again, this is another one I think we saw live, and it's just where it just sort of takes you off on a little bit of a journey. There's one of my favourite sayings when it comes to music, and this song definitely does that. I just love the way it's just definitely. I remember seeing. I'm sure he played it live again, and just sort of tones it down a bit, and great song, very ballady. So
it's great, man. Yeah, good one, mate. Well, this one definitely takes you on a journey, as you're saying. Me and you listen to this together for the first time. It's Marching in Time, the title track for the new album.
Ooh, I thought that would be a lot higher up than that, Lee.
7 minutes and 34 seconds long this is, because I knew it was like, it may be the longest song he's done, I think.
Yeah.
But he's, like you said, he's done Epic before. Providence is probably one of them, even though it's only 5.5 minutes long. But this is a little bit proggy, a bit progressive. There's bits in it that change. It just changes all the way through. It dies down, then it gets heavy. There's a mental breakdown in it. It's not a ballad by any means, but because it's too heavy for that. But it's the speed of it almost is. But obviously, ballads ain't always about how fast it is. It's about what it's about, sort of thing. But there's an instrumental part. I just noted this down at 4.5 minutes. That's just like so heavy. That bit where it breaks into the instrumental bit. It's just like fucking. I mean, there's some real heavy bits.
All the offbeat drumming and all that as well. Yeah. Really, really.
I remember when me and you, because we reacted to it, we watched it and we did a reaction. If anyone wants to check that out, but that bit just fucking blew me away. That on that part of it, I was like, "Fucking hell, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant." So it sounds huge as well, doesn't it? Like that whole album and the parts where it breaks down like that on that whole entire album just blow my fucking mind. There, brilliant.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually if he said that's the best song he's written. It wouldn't surprise me if he said that. I don't know if he has or not, but I don't really look at any interviews or anything. But
I mean, when you said that it could be higher, that one even could be higher in the future, I think, for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of them.
Good choice.
You mate.
Right, 4. So my number 4 is off the first album, and it is "You Waste Your Time." You waste your time. You had too much, don't ever let me.
Yeah, this was the first song, wasn't it?
Which was the first song. So sorry, a little bit sentimental now, I think, but this was like the first exposure of this band. I don't even think they were planning an album at this point, were they? It was just a bit of a project sort of thing they had going on.
Maybe. All I remember is the video was them playing it live in like a studio.
In the studio, yeah. So as soon as I saw that song, I just thought, it sounded really heavy. But at the same time, I think you appreciated sort of the technical side of it, if you like, where they're all playing in the studio and it sounds exactly the same as it does on the album.
Yeah.
And it's it's quite heavy but catchy at the same time. So that's obviously something he does quite well, isn't it?
I mean, Alter Bridge had gone sort of heavier at this point with AB3, a little bit heavier. They were starting to get heavier, but I think seeing Tremonti, like you said in that video, fucking veins popping out of his fucking neck, and the whole band. I think the drummer. The drummer was going mental. Oh, by the way, the drummer apparently he's left now. Just I don't know if you know.
Yeah, he left. I was looking at that this morning actually. Yeah. About 3 years ago he left.
Yeah, they've got a new drummer, which people like the fans are sort of saying that the drumming ain't as. I'm like you with instruments and all that. The drummer to me sounds fantastic on the new album. Obviously, people can't let people go, can they? When they leave a band or whatever, they just can't forget about it and just get on with a new one. But the drummer the original drummer was
Garrett Whitlock, wasn't it?
Garrett Whitlock, that's it, mate. And the new one's Ryan Bennett. But he was going mental. Do you remember him behind the drum kit, like fucking like the animal out of the Muppets? It's fucking mad.
And then right at the end, as the song's coming to a close, the camera like pans down to his feet. Like he's going on the double bass. Yeah, brilliant. So it had to be in there for me. It had to be in there.
I know what you mean about the sentimental stuff, though. It's definitely true because that was close to mine as well. But great. This one might surprise you. My number 4 maybe being high up on the list. This has always been a favourite off the album for me. So it's off the Dust album. It's Once Dead. It's just man. I mean. This is fucking fast at times, but then the chorus is like soars, doesn't it, into one of the best chorus. I think my favourite chorus actually of Tremonti's. The way it soars and goes high after that really fucking heavy bit. I mean, the heavy bits in it, the really fast bits, sound like a lot of the stuff that he does in other songs because it's when he goes really thrashy. Some of the songs sound a little bit similar in those thrashy riffs, but they do in all thrash songs. They sound similar. But when it just goes into that chorus, it sort of slows right down. The heaviness just comes and it soars off. And probably one of my favourite solos as well. On that
good
song as well. It's a brilliant song. But Once Dead.
Good choice.
Number
good
4.
Choice.
Okay.
Right. So my number 3. And we've got a match here. So my number 3 is Marching in Time. So, obviously, we've spoken about this one already, but I've got a funny feeling that when I go and see them in January, they're obviously going to play this song.
Yeah.
And I think it could catapult itself into potentially my favourite song, or maybe, you know, could be my number 2 in the future. But I think it's going to resonate really well, that song, when they play it live. I don't know if they're playing it live. I'm not looking at set lists that they're doing at the moment or anything like that. Because I think it's better to be surprised now with gigs, sort of not knowing what bands are going to play.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're totally right about it does catapult like how you feel about a song. I mean, when we're going back to the Alter Bridge again at the Royal Albert Hall, when you hear them doing, like when you heard them do Waters Rising, this is the sort of song that is, isn't it? It's that epic slow bits, then it goes loud. I think that'd be brilliant live, like you said.
Yeah,
fucking
definitely.
excellent choice, mate. I think for the third time.
I thought that'd be your number 1, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
Really?
I was convinced that'd be your number 1.
Nah, I've got brilliant. Well, they're all brilliant, aren't they? But so my number 3, I'm slowing down again and being a bit of a pussy, a bit old. So I'm going back to the debut album again, The Things I've Seen.
Yeah, great song.
It's just huge, isn't it, this song?
Yeah.
But it goes from the slow bit at the beginning, where it's all slowish, but when it goes into the heavy bit, it's just so epic, man. And it's just so catchy as well at the same time. Like an epic metal ballad, I suppose. The things I've seen. Yeah. It's just fucking brilliant. It's just so like dramatic, I suppose you could call it. It's just excellent. So that's it. The Things I've Seen is my number 3, mate.
Okay, so my number 2, Dust.
Oh, nice. Another match.
Yeah, this actually got pushed up the list this morning. It wasn't that high up on the list, and it actually goes back to what we just discussed a minute ago from when we saw it live at Shepherd's Bush, and then listening to it again, like on record, and then, well, not record, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you know, going back to when you were at a gig, and then you remember certain points of gigs, and that being one of them, and it was just one of their moments for me when I thought,
we both thought the same.
It's a great film.
We both thought the same when we saw them play that live. We both weird, isn't it? And they capture that sort of moment. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's an excellent song, mate. Good choice, obviously, because I chose it as well. So this might surprise you, actually. This song's grown and grown and grown on me. But you know, I suppose it could be on a lot of people's list who are Tremonti fans because it's new. It's off the new album. Yeah, and it's the first song off the new album that we heard.
Oh, yes.
If Not For You.
Yeah,
man, it's just been stuck in my head, that chorus, since for weeks now. And that's when you know it's a good song. And when the song kicks in, how heavy does it sound? And I think it just sounds fucking massive. Yeah, and that little guitar melody going over it as well. The chorus, like I said, it's just been stuck in my head. It's a huge sound to this. And I think this and Marching in Time, it sounds so big on an album that sounds big anyway. But it's got some real epic moments. They stand out as fucking hell. That sounds huge, that song. And I didn't realise how good this song is the first time when I reacted to it and first heard it. I thought, well, that's a good song. That's a really good song. But the more you hear it, you're like, fucking hell, that is excellent. So If Not For You is my number 2, mate.
Yeah. I must admit, I wasn't, like, when the album was coming out, I thought, you know, I wasn't overly excited about it, if that makes sense. And I don't know why, because it's absolutely brilliant. I've not stopped listening to it since it came out.
It is excellent.
But, right, we're down to number 1.
We are, mate.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't know. Okay. We usually swap at this point, don't we?
Do you want to swap?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's swap. Let's change it up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll go first. It's funny what you were saying earlier on about the nostalgia bit and, you know, hearing that song for the first time. So I love that song. Waste Your Time, it's called. Or Don't Waste Your Time. When I heard that song, I loved it and I fucking thought it was brilliant. But at the same time, when I heard the album was coming out, I was still not concerned, but wondering what it was going to sound like.
Skeptical.
You know? Yeah, I was thinking, I hope it's got different sort of stuff rather than fresh. Do you know what I mean? And just fast fucking stuff all the way through. Because I know Tremonti loves his fresh music. So I was thinking, I hope it ain't going to be 10 or 11 songs of just fucking, you know what I mean? And yeah. So obviously, as soon as you put it on, Leave It Alone comes on, which is my number one.
Wow,
and you hear that guitar riff just coming in from the background, didn't you? Like that sort of being turned up, the guitar being turned up.
Yeah, I can hear it now in my head.
And as soon as I first heard that, and I knew because it started the album off with a sort of, I don't know, even slow to medium pace, heavy song, and I thought, yeah, this is going to be fucking excellent. And then you know at this point it's going to be just epic. So I love the song. Like I said, it was just confirming what sort of, not confirming, but sort of underlying what I was worried about, sort of saying, is it just going to be a fresh album? Oh no, it ain't. It's going to be a metal album as well, isn't it? And Leave It Alone is just fucking epic as fuck.
Great.
That's choice. My number one, mate. It's my number one.
Okay, so my number one probably won't surprise you in the sense that it's off the new album, but it's actually Not Afraid to Lose. Honestly, the first time I heard this song, I was absolutely, I suppose this is my like not sentimental. What was it you said earlier? Like being a bit sloppy, a little bit, yeah. It's obviously, to do with love or something like that. Not really looked up what it's about, but it caught me the first time I heard it, and I literally cannot stop listening to this song. To the fact that it's got in on my number one, I absolutely love it, and it's just the rawness of it and the heaviness, but then it goes back to sentimental and just but it's just got everything for me, everything, and just blew me away the first time I heard it. And you love when you listen to a song for the first time and you love it, and then you stop listening to it. So
I know how much you love the album. Well, we both do. So that's fucking excellent. So I mean, there's if anyone hasn't heard Tremonti, they like it heavy, but they want it catchy, just like we do. And obviously, all singing. There's no fucking shouting, even though it gets ultra heavy. He's got a brilliant voice and all. Let's just not forget that, because do you know what I mean?
His voice is like the perfect offset in it between the heaviness of the music and then that it just sort of brings it together.
And you can hear, it don't matter if you've never heard one of his songs. I mean, Sarah even said the other day a song came on, one of the new ones, that's Tremonti. Do you know what I mean? He's just got a voice that just stands out brilliantly, so I've got a couple of honourable mentions. I don't know if you've got any you want to just...
Funny enough, so have I.
Yeah, I mean, I actually... I sort of had 13 songs. I said to you, didn't I had 13 that I really wanted to include. There's fucking 60 brilliant songs, but my first list, I had 13. So I'll do mine first if you want, mate, because I did my number one first. So I'll just mention. So I had So You're Afraid. I sort of put that in the same bracket as the first song they did, Waste Your Time. That one, I have it sort of in that same bracket but I find it a lot better for some reason. It's the second song on it. I love it. Providence, I've already mentioned that. I had that epic sort of song, and the title track, The Dying Machine, as well. Good choices. That's quite epic as well, isn't it? So what you got then, mate?
Funnily enough, two of them were actually songs that you had. So the first, the last, I had that one in there, I think pretty much the whole way along, and then I took it out for some reason. Great song, love that one. And If Not For You, off the new album. Again, I think the first, the last could be possibly the one that anyone, like I said, you could just play it. Surely, how could you not like it? How could you not like that song? It's one of his more easy listening songs, if you like. If someone wasn't into that music, or
exactly,
that would be one of the songs you'd probably say, well, actually, this could change your mind.
Yeah, and if not for you, you can't deny that when that kicks in, it's just fucking. I'm just thinking about it now, how big it sounds. That's brilliant.
I also had Sympathy off of Kotor. Radical Change.
Fucking heavy, yeah.
Yeah, and Never Wrong. So just the 5 I put down there.
But
like you say, you could go on and on, couldn't you? You could go on and on.
You could. So, just give a quick mention. We've mentioned the drummers. If anyone doesn't know, Wolfgang Van Halen also, was it 1 or 2 albums he recorded? He definitely
he's not with them anymore, is he?
Nah, but he was with them. So that's people might not even realise he played with them on 1 or 2 albums, I think it was. But excellent list, man. A few matches.
Yeah, how many did we get there? 2 or 3, wasn't it?
I think it was 3 in the end. 3 matches in the end, I think. Yeah, but absolutely brilliant. Thanks for joining me, man. I mean, obviously, anyone who's watching this video, if they're Tremonti fans, give us your top 10.
Yeah, it'd be good to hear.
Be nice to also if we're making you want to listen to him, because he's fucking one of the most. I don't know if he's underrated anymore. A lot of people know he's fucking brilliant, don't they? But still underrated because he's that good. I think he'll always be underrated. So there you go. There you go. All right, thanks, man. Cool. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.
Nice one.
Take care. Cheers, man.
See you later. Bye. Bye.